For my first topic, I've decided to show how to do a frequency table, and I'm going to show how to do that with with number 19 on page 58, which is chapter 2, 2.1. And the problem says the following data represent highway fuel consumption in miles per gallon for a random sample of 55 models of passenger cars. And all of the data are underneath, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do the frequency table for that. Okay. First, what you want to do is you want to decide how many classes you want for the table, and I'm going to go ahead and use 5 classes. And then you want to find the class width. And the way you do this is you take the largest data value minus the smallest data value over the desired number of classes. Okay. We see in all of these numbers the largest data value is 52. And then the smallest data value is 10. You're going to divide that by the number of classes, which we decided was 5, which would give you 42 divided by 5, which gives you 8.4. And you always want to increase the value to the next highest whole number. So we're going to have a class width of 9. Then you're going to go ahead and just draw up what your frequency table is going to look like. So, like we said, it's going to be 5 classes. So we're going to first have the class limits, then the class boundaries, and I'm just going to abbreviate these: the midpoint, the frequencies, the relative frequency, and the cumulative frequency. Okay, now we're going to start with the class limits. The way you do the class limits is you use the smallest data value as the lower class limit of the first class, which is 10, like we saw above, so you just want to go ahead and fill that in. And then you take the class width and you add it to the smallest data value to get the lower class limit of the second class. So you'd add 9 to 10, which gives you 19. And then you're just going to go ahead and follow that pattern to establish all the lower class limits, which add 9 to that, you get 28. Add 9, 37. Do it again, you get 46. And then to fill in the upper class limits, you just do it according to these. Like this is 19, so you'd go up to 18, then up to 27, then up to 36, then up to 45, then up to 54. Now you want to go ahead and do your class boundaries. In order to do your class boundaries, to find the upper class boundary, you add 0.5 to the upper class limit. For the lower class boundaries, you add 0.5 from the lower class limit. So it would be, for this one, 9.5 to 18.5, 18.5 to 27.5, 27.5 to 36.5, 36.5 to 45.5, and then 45.5 to 54.5. And then the way you find midpoint is you take your lower class limit plus your upper class limit and you divide it by 2. So for this one, it would be 10 plus 18 divided by 2, which you get 14. For this one, it would be 19 plus 27 divided by 2, which gives you 23. 28 plus 36 divided by 2, which gives you 32. 37 plus 45, and divided by 2 gives you 41. And 46 plus 54, then divided by 2, you get 50. For the frequency, it's just how many data values fall into that class, which you can just count up with a tally, but you'll see that there are 6 within the 10 to 18 range data values. There are 26 data values that fall between 19 and 27. There are 20 that fall between 28 and 36. 1 between 37 and 45, and 2 between 46 and 54. Next, you want to do your relative frequency. To find the relative frequency of a class, you divide the class frequency. So for relative frequency, you divide the class frequency, f, by the total of all frequencies, n, which is the sample size. The sample size we saw is 55, so it would be whatever that divided by 55. So for the first one, you'd have 6 divided by 55, which gets you 0.11. 26 divided by 55, which is 0.47. Then 20 by 55, which is 0.36. Then 1 by 55, which is 0.02. And then 2 by 55, which you get 0.04. And those are your relative frequencies. And then lastly, to get your cumulative frequencies for a class, you add the frequency of that class to the frequencies of previous classes, starting with for the first class, just doing the frequency the same. So it's 6. That would be the cumulative frequency of the first one. And then, like I said, you add the frequency of that class to the frequency of a previous class. So, for instance, for the next one, it would be 26 plus that, 6, to get 32. Then you add the 20 to get 52. Then you add the 1 to get 53. And then you add the 2 to get 55. And then you have all of your cumulative frequencies. And that is how you do a frequency table for that problem.